It began in silence on the cold steel floors of a top-secret underground facility buried deep in the Siberian wilderness. The ground trembled, not from war, not from weapons, but from the mere presence of two of the strongest beings to ever walk the earth, the mission that brought them. Here would change the fate of mutants, humans, and perhaps even the planet itself. For months, intelligence across the globe had been tracking strange energy surges near the Ural Mountains. These were not ordinary surges, they were distortions of gamma radiation, mixed with an unknown form of mutant energy, neither natural nor stable. At first, the mutant nation of Krakoa had no interest in the reports, but that changed when Cerebro detected a resonance similar to Pyotr Rasputin Colossus. Xavier called Pyotr in personally. These readings are like echoes of your power, amplified and wild. Xavier said, concern on his face. You must investigate. If someone is creating or cloning mutant powers with gamma influence, it could mean catastrophe. Pyotr, ever the stoic warrior, nodded. If it endangers my people, I will stop it. Donning his X-Force combat gear, Colossus stepped through a Krakowan, a gate, and arrived near the frozen forests of Russia. The land was familiar, a shadow of the world he knew as a child. But something here had changed. It was as if the earth itself was groaning beneath the pressure of something ancient and angry. Unknown to Colossus, he was not the only one drawn to the disturbance. Bruce Banner, the man behind the monster, had also traced the gamma pulses to this site. And though Bruce had tried to suppress the Hulk, using meditation, isolation, and science, the call of the energy triggered something primal, something green. The Hulk returned, not out of rage, but instinct. This power, this mutant gamma fusion, was a threat to his very nature. Gamma was his. The Hulk viewed the source not as a curiosity, but as a challenge. A challenger. By the time Bruce arrived at the edge of the facility, he was already transforming. Bones snapped, muscles swelled, and skin darkened into an emerald hue. Within seconds, the Hulk was tearing through reinforced titanium walls like paper. Colossus, inside the bunker, heard the devastation long before he saw it. He activated his organic steel transformation, his skin turning to gleaming metal. He marched toward the destruction with the calm of a soldier, but also the weight of a protector. Then he saw him, the Hulk, towering, breathing heavily, radiating fury and gamma like a living reactor. Their eyes met, two titans bred for war. I don't want to fight you, Colossus warned, voice deep and composed. Whatever is here, we can contain it together. Hulk cracked his neck. You shine like gamma, but you're not Hulk, you're just tin can. Hulk smashed tin cans. It wasn't a misunderstanding, it was destiny. Neither of them realized they were being watched. Deep in the facility's vaults, a remnant of Weapon X's darkest days was awakening. The mutant Gamma, hybrid codenamed Goliath-X, had been created as a backup weapon in case the Hulk or other Omega-level mutants ever went rogue. Combining gamma radiation, adamantium-laced cellular tissue, and stolen mutant genes, it had no soul, no mind, only rage, and a fail-safe trigger linked to high-energy gamma signatures. Colossus' arrival, Hulk's transformation. Together, they had activated it. Sealed inside an amber-like cocoon, Goliath-X stirred. Sensors read increased pulse. Its blood glowed faint green. Its claws twitched, but neither Hulk nor Colossus knew what they had awakened. Not yet. For now, only one thing occupied their minds, the other. Colossus stood tall. He remembered fighting Juggernaut. He had matched the Red Hulk once. But the original Hulk, the primal fury of Banner, was in a class of his own. Pyotr knew he had to end this quickly, with minimal force. But Hulk had no such thoughts. He charged. Colossus braced. The ground between them exploded as green fists met steel chest, the shockwave ripping the nearby walls into shrapnel. Colossus slid back several feet, boots carving trenches in the concrete, but he held his ground. You're strong, he said, spitting dust, but not unstoppable. Hulk grinned, feral. You talk too much. Their first clash was only the beginning. Alarms rang through the facility as seismic sensors went wild. And beneath them, Goliath-X's cocoon finally cracked. Above, two warriors fought for dominance. But below, a monster was preparing to rise, and only one of them would survive to face it. The air quaked with pressure. Gamma radiation crackled through the steel husk of the facility, like static before a lightning storm. Hulk stood on all fours like a beast ready to pounce, while Colossus rose from a crater, metal skin shimmering under broken fluorescent lights. The walls were no longer walls, just rubble and ruin. The moment had come. No more words, only war. Hulk lunged forward with terrifying speed. For all his size, he was a blur of fury, fists hammering like meteor strikes. Colossus met him head-on, arms up in a boxer's guard, blocking the first few blows before countering with a rising uppercut that sent the Hulk staggering. But the green Goliath barely felt it. With a roar that shook the foundations, Hulk slammed both fists down on Colossus's shoulders, driving the metal mutant into the ground like a tent peg. Concrete shattered beneath Piotr's feet. He grunted, not in pain, but in sheer exertion, before he launched himself upward, sending both of them crashing through the ceiling into the frozen open air. The Siberian winds howled around them. Snow flurried. But nothing was colder than Colossus's resolve. He tackled the Hulk mid-air, lifting the emerald giant overhead and slamming him into a mountainside. The rock cracked, an avalanche beginning to form, but Hulk wasn't finished. He burst free of the rubble, grabbing Colossus by the leg and swinging him like a weapon, slamming him into the snow-covered earth over and over, each blow forming massive craters. "Stay down!" Hulk roared, eyes blazing. Colossus, dented and bloodied but not broken, flipped and drove both feet into Hulk's chest, launching him across the terrain. Trees shattered, boulders cracked. It was not a fight. It was a force of nature meeting an immovable object. Below the battlefield, the cocoon cracked open. From it emerged Goliath-X, towering, monstrous, neither mutant nor man, glowing with green veins, muscle-plated with organic adamantium fibers. Its eyes gleamed like radioactive stars. It looked up. It felt the fight, and it hungered. Without words or thought, it leapt upward through earth and fire, erupting from beneath the ground between the two titans. For the first time, Hulk and Colossus paused. This thing was their unintended consequence. Their war had awakened it. Hulk's eyes narrowed. "That's mine." Colossus stepped forward. "Then let's end this together." But Hulk growled, "After you." Without warning, Hulk spun and delivered a thunderous punch to Colossus's side, sending him flying into a glacier wall. "You wait your turn." Hulk snarled. He turned to Goliath-X and charged. What followed was no longer a fight. It was a seismic event. Hulk collided with Goliath-X like a tank crashing into a nuclear reactor. Fists met claws. Gamma met hybrid fury. Every punch sent shockwaves echoing for miles. Goliath-X roared and retaliated with bone-crushing force, claws slicing deep gashes into Hulk's chest, green blood steaming in the snow. But Hulk laughed. He grew stronger with pain. Each wound made him angrier, bigger. Colossus rose from the wreckage, shaking off the ice and blood. He looked at the two monsters battling like gods and charged in, delivering a steel-shattering punch to Goliath-X's spine. And now it was three giants. Colossus with precision and honor, Hulk with fury and chaos, Goliath-X with instinct and bloodlust. Mountains crumbled. Glaciers melted. The land itself begged for mercy. Minutes passed like lifetimes. The three behemoths tore through each other, battered, broken, but unyielding. Finally, Colossus caught Goliath-X in a steel grip and screamed, "Now, Hulk!" Hulk didn't hesitate. He leapt high, higher than any man should, and came down with a double fist smash on Goliath-X's skull, the force so great it shattered the creature's spine and cracked the earth beneath. Goliath-X let out a deafening screech and collapsed, unmoving, green mist rising from its corpse. Silence returned. Colossus released his grip, panting. "We did it." Hulk turned. "No," he growled. "I did it." Then came the final punch. Hulk's fist slammed into Colossus's face with the force of a landslide, sending the mutant crashing into a valley below. He didn't get up. Hulk stood alone, bloodied, chest heaving, victorious. "I'm the strongest one there is," he muttered. He looked down at the unconscious Colossus, half buried in ice, then at the fallen Goliath-X. One had fought with honor. One had fought with instinct. But only Hulk stood unbroken, and in that frozen wasteland, as snow began to fall once more, the legend of the battle would live on, a tale of fury, steel, and unstoppable power.